Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed at 1,000 subscribers. I'll be posting a special video. The beer cap pings off my chest. I steady the cake box with my elbow. Move faster, Dad grunts from his chair. I keep holding the box. I breathe once. What now? I'm Alex Marin, 29, the family errand boy. I set the box on the table and dust sugar off. My brother pops a bottle and watches my hands. Don't drop it, he smirks. My teeth touch hard enough. Mom points at the counter without looking. Plates, she says, already turning toward guests. I don't move, my palms warm under the noise. I wait for a thanks that never comes. Will it ever? Chairs scrape, toasts begin, glasses rise in rhythm. Dad lifts his drink and talks about sacrifice. He names everyone who helped this month, not me. I stare at the box crease. The room tilts. Do I swallow it? My sister snaps her fingers near the sink. Wash and stack before dinner, she says. I reach for the faucet, then stop midair. I turn back to the table. Something shifts inside, ready to test it. Hold up, I say, voice steady but tight. Forks pause midair, bottles hover, eyes slide to me. Before I wash anything, I want one sentence. Dad laughs through his nose. Is that all? A sentence, I repeat, pointing at him. Say thank you for the bills I covered. The laughter thins. A cousin coughs once. My phone buzzes on silent. Proof waits inches away. My brother leans back, arms crossed like a gate. Grow up, he says, rolling his wrist at me. Mom touches her necklace and studies a napkin. Dad squints as if I am distant fog. Am I still a blur? I unlock the screen and open the alerts. I tilt the phone so the numbers face them. Gas, internet, car repair, each line stamped paid. Silence lands heavy on the table. Who blinks first? Dad lowers his drink and squares his shoulders. Not the time, he says, Joe set for battle. It's exactly the time, I say, pulse hammering. I brought the cake and the receipts. Which one matters now? My sister reaches for the phone and misses. I slide it to the center and tap twice. 2 months, 4 charges, all mine without debate. I look at Dad and wait. Will he meet me halfway? My brother lunges across the table and misses. I slip the phone into my pocket and step back. Chairs grind, a toast dies midair. Dad points at the door like a warning flare. Do I back down? A buzz hits my palm like a sting. New notification, new payee added to my account today. I pull the screen up and tilt it wide. Who touched my banking profile, I ask, any brave volunteer. Mom flinches and twists her necklace twice. I logged in because it was saved, she murmurs. Household needs were urgent, it was efficient. The word efficient floats between us like a dare, still efficient. Who saved it, I ask, looking at my brother. He flicks his keyring and forces a shrug. You use the same password everywhere, he grins. I help set things up once, my jaw tightens hard. I lock the screen and breathe to account. No more access, I say, clear and slow. Dad scrapes his chair back an inch and smirks. Watch your tone, the room leans his direction. Do I bend? Another buzz, fine issued to my plate this morning. Timestamp reads 7:19, location 2 streets away. My head turns. Who had my car at dawn? My brother blinks too long. Dad clears his throat, interesting silence. A cousin near the doorway lifts a hand. I saw your car by the pharmacy early, he mutters. Someone parked crooked and left fast. He looks down at his shoes, the timeline tightens. Mom spreads napkins like a white flag and fails. Let's return to the celebration, she pleads, eyes shiny. We can talk after dinner, not now. I tap the ticket link open, the fee doubles tomorrow. Reverse the new payee and transfer back tonight. My voice stays even, my pulse thrums hard. Also cover the ticket and the fuel. I wait, the table breathes like an animal. Who moves first? Dad rises half an inch taller and levels me. You don't issue commands in this house. I meet his eyes and raise the phone. I'm freezing the card now, his nostrils flare. I swipe to lock, the bank pings a code. I enter it and revoke every linked device. A success banner flashes bright and final. My brother steps forward again, I slide left and away. The phone rings, unknown number, I hit speaker. Security check for suspicious transfers, a clipped voice announces. I confirm the dispute with 3 answers and dates. The agent kills the root, the room absorbs it. I end the call and lower the screen. No more quiet withdrawals, I say, steady and cold. Say you took my money without consent. Mom covers her mouth, Dad's jaw sets like stone, will anyone own it? Condensation from a glass drips onto my receipts. Ink feathers and starts to fade along one corner. I lift them before the total disappears. Dad's hand hovers above the cake box and stalls. What comes next? Dad sweeps the receipts off the table with one swipe. They slide under a chair and crumple. RD. I crouch, grab them, and hold them high. Try that again, my voice lands heavier than before. A cousin lifts his phone and starts filming. Put that away, Dad's palm chops the air. The camera stays up, red dot blinking steady. I fix on it like a witness that won't blink. My screen lights, fraud alert for a furniture order. Delivery window today, name matches my initials. Who ordered a recliner under my profile? The room murmurs, no one volunteers, the timer ticks. I call the number with speaker on loud. A courier answers with a bored greeting. I read the order ID and ask the pickup address. He rattles our street and the porch number, perfect timing. Cancel the drop, unauthorized charge in my name. He asks for a code and a birth date. I give the code from the text and pass the check. Order canceled, a truck turns somewhere, the air tightens. I raise the phone toward Dad without blinking. That chair was for you, not anymore. He studies me like I'm some stubborn lock. Enough theatrics, his knuckles press white on the table. Repay the car ticket, repay the fuel, repay today. My brother laughs once and reaches for the cake. He drags the box closer like it belongs to him. I slide it back so fast his hand jolts. Guests start drifting toward the hallway in small knots. Chairs complain across the floor as people retreat. Mom whispers to an aunt and wipes her eyes. No one meets my stare, that tells me plenty. My sister steps into my space with squared shoulders. This spectacle ends now, apologize to Dad. She waits for my mouth to fold and obey. I take one step wider so we don't touch. Apologize for what? Protecting my account. Her chin lifts and her breath sharpens. You just embarrassed him in front of family. He embarrassed himself when he spent what was mine. The cousin with the camera shifts angles for a better view. I look straight into the lens and speak slowly. No more access to my money, no more borrowed car. Dad moves toward me fast, plates rattle hard. He lunges for the phone and catches my wrist. Heat shoots up my arm as his grip clamps. I twist, pop free, and take 2 steps back. Touch me again and I walk out now. A chorus of SHHH washes from the hallway. Someone bumps the light switch by accident and curses. I do not break eye contact with the man in front. My breathing steadies while his shoulders rise higher. Mom edges between us with both palms raised. Please, everyone breathe, we can repair this. Her fingers tremble as she tries a calming pat. I flinch back, no more hands near me tonight. My phone vibrates again with a banking pop-up. New attempt blocked from a linked tablet. I tilt the screen so the room reads the notice. Who still has my profile open right now? My brother stares at the counter and refuses to blink. Close every session you ever saved on anything. He stays frozen like a statue with bad secrets. I hold out my palm for his device without blinking. He doesn't move, the air goes electric for a second. I count to 3 and then reach for his pocket. He jerks away too slow and bumps the cake. The box pivots and splits with a dull sigh. Frosting slides across Dad's sleeve in a thick smear. He looks down at the mess and then at me. His jaw works like he wants to crush stone. Look at what you've done, his voice shakes with fury. I place a pen on the table with a click. Write an IOU for the charges you owe. He stares at the pen like it burns. No, the refusal lands heavy and hot. I pick up the receipts and flatten each edge. We can do it on paper or in court. My cousin's camera tilts closer as if tasting drama. Choose quickly, my hand doesn't wobble anymore. Mom grabs the pen first and holds it out. Her lips press together like she swallowed fire. Fine, we will make it right tonight. Her eyes flick to Dad for permission that never comes. He knocks the pen aside with the back of his knuckles. The plastic skips and vanishes under the sideboard. Nothing gets signed in my house under threats. He squares up again, the crowd pulls tighter to the walls. I open the family group chat and upload screenshots. Bank alerts, ticket photo, courier cancellation number. Everyone's phones chime across the rooms in little bursts. Evidence spreads faster than denial, that matters tonight. An uncle clears his throat and steps forward 2 paces. Sort this or I'm leaving with my kids now. His wife is already putting on shoes with quick hands. The party is bleeding out, the center is cracking. My sister grabs a dish towel and thrusts it at me. Clean his sleeve and make peace like a grown-up. I let the towel fall to the floor untouched. Respect follows honesty, honesty starts with a signature. Dad laughs once but it has no power. He looks at the half cake and then the guests. His shoulders dip for a heartbeat and then harden. We will discuss family money later, he angles for delay. Later is how we got here, my tone stays level. I tap the pen icon on my phone in draft terms. Repayment by midnight, ticket covered, silence not required. I turn the screen for Mom, her eyes widen. She scrolls, she nods, she slams a hand on the table. Type your name, she shoves the device toward him. He doesn't touch it, he stares past me at the wall. My brother mutters something I can't catch, the room chills. I walk to the router and pull the power cable. Notifications die in the air like moths in winter. What are you doing? My sister's voice cracks with panic. Protecting my accounts until this gets resolved. A neighbor knocks hard from the porch and calls inside. Everything okay in there? We heard shouting. Dad freezes because the outside world is listening now. I look at Mom, answer honestly or I will. She bolts for the door and wedges it open a hand. We're fine, family moment, the neighbor lingers half convinced. I lift the phone so he can see the video running. He blinks, nods and stays on the steps as witness. I return to the table and place the phone again. Last offer before I file a report tonight. Dad's chest heaves once more as pride wrestles consequence. His eyes flick to the camera, then down to the screen. He enters his name with slow, deliberate letters. Mom exhales a breath that shakes her shoulders. My brother swears under his breath and looks away. The digital signature locks with a sharp confirmation chime. I forward the signed note to the group chat. Payment before midnight, screenshot the transfer, no excuses. I pick up my keys and tuck the phone deep. Dad wipes his sleeve without help, the room holds its breath. The first transfer hits my phone with a clean ping. 1/10 of what he owes, memo reads test. I stare at him until he looks away. Full amount by midnight, my thumb hovers over record, will he stall? He reaches for the signature screen like he might delete it. I tilt the display out of reach and pocket it deep. Try anything cute and I file online. The cousin's camera shifts closer again, pressure builds on his face. My brother's voice cuts in from near the sink. Give Dad a day, he rubs his temple and paces. Banks can be slow on weekends. Instant transfer exists, I tap the app and highlight the option. Mom thrusts an envelope toward me with shaking fingers. Cash now, the rest in an hour. I it in my hand without counting. Half measures keep this cycle alive, her shoulders tremble at cycle. A knock rattles the doorframe twice, short and firm. The neighbor walks back in with a second man. Noise complaint from the block, he says, palms open. He glances at the camera and then at us. Do we escalate? I step aside so they can see everything. No violence, financial dispute, witness present. Dad lifts his chin and folds his arms tight. We're fine, he mutters, the neighbor doesn't blink. Another alert pops, attempted reversal on the first transfer. I angle the screen so everyone reads the red banner. Someone used phone support to roll it back. I lift my eyes to the only person who would, who else? Dad's nostrils flare, he reaches for his coat pockets. I extend my palm, your phone now. He freezes and pretends confusion for a heartbeat. The neighbor clears his throat loud enough to matter. He hands it over with coal-hot reluctance. I open recent calls and hold the list high. Customer line at the top 2 minutes ago. Reverse that request while we all watch, I say. He doesn't move, the room hangs on a wire. I dial the number and push speaker for clarity. The rep answers with scripted calm and asks for verification. Dad glares at the ceiling, then spits the confirmation digits. The rep restores the transfer and flags the account. A text lands on both devices within 3 seconds. Unauthorized reversal cancelled. Hold applied for 24 hours. I end the call and hand him the brick back. My brother mutters near the counter and fishes keys out. He tries to pocket mine with a fast scoop. I pin his wrist to the table with 2 fingers. Return the set, he yanks, then drops both rings. Mom grips my elbow and leans in close. Please lower your voice, her breath shakes against my sleeve. People will talk for months. They can talk, I answer, my account stays mine. A new buzz rattles the table like an insect. Push notification from work payroll, change request submitted. My stomach tightens hard as I open details. Routing number switched this afternoon, effective next cycle, who touched HR. I lock eyes with my brother and count down. He stares a hole through the tiles and swallows. You needed gas money, he mumbles. You hijacked my paycheck, heat crawls up my neck. I hit the cancel button and type a security phrase. A supervisor email confirms the block and logs the attempt. Payroll restored to the original routing. I screen record the whole sequence with timestamps. The neighbor whispers to the man beside him. Do you want us to call someone? He asks quietly. We've got this, I reply without looking away. Dad's jaw works like he wants to swallow the table. I slide the envelope back to Mom with a tap. Keep that for groceries and utilities, you prove. Her eyes flick to Dad and then to me. You will still eat with us, a plea not an order. My phone vibrates again with a new deposit notice. The amount is exact to the signed figure. Memo reads settling debts tonight, no jokes. I glance at Dad, his jaw loosens a fraction. Second half before midnight, I nod at the screen. My brother snorts and starts toward the hallway. Where are you going? My voice pins him mid-step. He turns slow and spreads empty hands, not convincing. Unlock your tablet, clear any saved credentials. He hesitates and then drags the device from a drawer. I navigate to autofill and wipe my data clean. The progress bar crawls while everyone watches the tiny line. Mom reaches for a plate and fails to grip. Her fingers slip and clatter against the edge. I slide water toward her and steady the plate base. She nods once, her breath evens by inches. Aunt whispers near the door and shakes her head. Family meeting concluded, she mutters to her kids. They shuffle out with quick steps and nervous glances. The house empties by degree, the noise thins to tension. Dad moves around the table and stands toe to toe. He lowers his voice so only I can hear. You will regret humiliating me in front of everyone. I keep my gaze steady and speak just as low. Regret flows one direction when money gets stolen. His eyelids flutter as the word stolen lands. He looks toward the window where the neighbor waits. He straightens up and forces a smile that fools no one. Another chime, third transfer posted to the ledger. I check the total and breathe through my nose. Almost there, I say, calm and exact. My brother rolls his eyes and retreats another step. Mom moves to the fridge and pulls out ice. She wraps it in a towel and touches Dad's sleeve. Cool that down before it stains, she murmurs. He jerks away and glares at the melting edges. The neighbor taps the doorframe with 2 knuckles. You want us to stick around? He asks softly. 10 more minutes, I answer without turning. He nods and leans back against the porch rail. My screen brightens with a final alert. Full balance received, confirmation number displayed in bold. I tilt the phone toward the table without triumph. Done, the word lands flat but heavy. Dad exhales through his nose and studies the surface. He reaches for a knife and cuts a crooked slice. He places it on a plate and pushes it my direction. An offering, a truce, a test. I do not reach for it, I lift my keys. Keep the cake, keep the envelope, keep the mess. I put the signed note in my pocket instead. Respect is the only currency I'm collecting here. My brother steps in my path with a last attempt. You can't walk out on Father's Day. I take 1 step left and open space. Correction, I won't stay for Father's Day theater. Mom catches my wrist with a light touch. Call me later, she whispers, her eyes search mine. Tell me where you sleep tonight. After I clear my accounts, I answer, not before. I restore power to the router and watch lights stabilize. Devices reconnect and pings resume across the house. I change every password while their screens sputter. Fresh credentials lock in, my shoulders loosen a notch. The neighbor peeks in once more with a raised eyebrow. All set, I tell him. He slides the door closed. Dad stands rooted and refuses to look up. He grips the chair back until his knuckles blanch. I pocket the phone and face the table squarely. Tomorrow we discuss boundaries, not requests, not favors. No one moves or offers a line to soften it. I turn toward the hallway in the night, waiting outside. The door bangs my shoulder as I push through. A hand claws for my sleeve and misses by inches. I keep moving down the hallway toward the porch. Behind me, chairs scrape like threats gathering speed. My brother plants himself in the doorway like a barricade. "Keys stay here," he throws out with a crooked grin. I step left and show the key fob near his nose. "Move or I call the bank's fraud line again." The neighbor straightens on the steps with folded arms. "You leaving by choice?" he asks without blinking. "Yeah," I answer and reach the walkway. The evening hums around us like a held breath. Dad strides after me with that old command posture. "Car parks here tonight," he growls from 3 paces back. I unlock the door and slide into the seat. He slaps the window with an open palm that stings. A dull rattle under the chassis grabs my ear. I crouch and reach beneath the bumper for the source. Small tracker glued tight to the frame, blinking like control. I rip it free and hold it between 2 fingers. "Whose is this?" I ask while the neighbor leans closer. Silence stretches long enough to feel planned and stubborn. My brother looks at his shoes and kicks a pebble. I drop the device into Dad's pocket with a tap. "Stop tracking me or I involve actual officers now." His jaw clicks once as he swallows pride and spit. The neighbor exhales slow, like someone noting details carefully. "Everyone heard that," he says. "The porch records it." Mom edges onto the threshold, clutching her phone tight. "Give me 3 minutes alone," she whispers across the yard. I glance at the street W. Here 2 cousins pretend to smoke. 2 minutes, I answer and set a timer that ticks loud. She steps down, eyes on the asphalt instead of me. "I linked overdraft to your account last month," she breathes. "Bank manager expects my call tomorrow at 9. She shows the text thread with his name and number. "Unlink it tonight or I do it myself." I type the bank chat number and request the change. A rep confirms removal and logs her profile separately. I nod once, the timer bleeds seconds like sand. A white sedan rolls to the curb without headlights. A guy climbs out and scans our little crowd. "Where's my payment?" he asks my brother with bored menace. My brother stares at Dad and lifts both hands empty. "No more loans from me," I say before eyes turn. The guy flicks his wrist toward my brother's pocket. "Collateral was the car for the morning errand," he shrugs. Dad stiffens as the lie burns the air between us. I pop the glove box and pull the registration copy. Name matches mine in large letters that carry weight. I hold it against the window so the guy reads. "Wrong collateral," I tell him. "Take it up inside." He sizes me up like he wants to test resolve. The neighbor shifts his feet and clears his throat pointedly. "Plenty of witnesses," he remarks with dry patience. The guy curses under breath and leans on his hood. Dad circles to the front and drags a trash bin over. He plants it inches from my bumper like a blockade. "Leave and you never bring that car back," he mutters. I ease the vehicle into gear and inch against the bin. Plastic buckles with a dull groan as it tips. It lands sideways and spills a thin trail onto concrete. Dad jumps back and nearly loses his balance. I keep the wheel straight and stop before the street. Mom moves between the bumpers with a desperate palm up. "Please wait," she begs, voice shredded by the day. "Give us one clear boundary we can accept right now." 3, I answer. "No access, no keys, no excuses." "Put it in writing," the neighbor suggests from the steps. I open my notes and draft the lines cleanly. Mom takes a photo and sends it to the group. Dad refuses to look but hears the swoosh anyway. The white sedan guy taps his watch twice and groans. "Clock's running," he tells my brother with practiced boredom. 5 minutes or I knock on every door." My brother pales and stumbles toward the house in panic. Dad follows him inside with a last poisonous glance. Mom stays near my window with shoulders squared. You will answer if I call, she asks softly. Text first, I answer, only emergencies get voice. I start the engine and check the gauges quickly. Fuel sits just above empty like a petty joke. I hold Mom's stare through the glass and point down. She nods once, she understands who drained it. My timer chirps and ends our fragile pause. I place the tracker on the hood like a warning. If I find another one, I file a report. Mom's eyes close, she whispers an apology shaped like air. The front door bangs as my brother reappears with cash. He shoves it at the guy like a lifeline thrown late. The guy counts fast and shoves bills into a worn clip. He points at me, smart to keep proof, he mutters. Dad hovers behind them with a coiled posture. He watches my hands like they might strike again. They won't, they will sign again if needed. The thought steadies me as I grip the wheel. Mom touches the roof gently and steps back 2 paces. Message me when you land somewhere safe, she whispers. I nod and glance at the porch with deliberate calm. The neighbor raises a thumb, the witness stays awake. I roll forward and clear the fallen bin with inches spare. No one stops me because the crowd lacks a plan. The sedan pulls away with a lazy turn and vanishes. My mirror holds my family small and jagged. A vibration buzzes on the passenger seat like a fly. New group text pings with frantic lines from relatives. Screenshots of the signed promise bounce back and forth. Every ding marks another judge and another archive. At the end of the driveway, Dad calls out once. Come back for a proper talk in the morning. I rest my forearm on the wheel and wait. Talk equals truth, I answered. Truth equals boundaries. I turn onto the street while my pulse settles. The house shrinks behind hedges and parked cars. Another ping arrives with a final bank confirmation. Funds cleared, tracker offline, night wide open ahead. I cut the engine outside the ATM and step out fast. Card in, withdraw limit, hard cap flashes on the display. I take the max and split it between pockets. If they try another pull tonight, they hit a wall. Phone vibrates against the console like it wants loose. Unknown number again, I answer with speaker off. Compliance follow-up regarding your dispute, a crisp voice says. Are you in a safe place right now? Loaded question. Safe enough, I answer, watching the sidewalk for movement. She confirms the signed note is in their file. She offers a flag for family-linked devices for 30 days. Do it, I say, notify me on every login attempt, ready for noise. A rideshare pulls in and idles near my bumper. Driver leans out and calls my name confidently. I didn't order a ride, I reply through the crack. Your brother did, he says, checking his tablet, nice try. I cancel it from my app before he refreshes. The request vanishes and leaves him blinking. Sorry man, he mutters, rolling off. I watch his taillights fade, trap avoided tonight. Another ding, new email from payroll security. They want confirmation for the earlier reversal block. I reply with the recorded clip attached. They stamp the ticket and close the loop tight. I book a cheap motel 2 districts away. Prepay through the app with my new virtual card. Door code lands in my inbox with a short note. No desk, no chatter, no chance for someone to follow. On the way, I detour to a small station. I pay cash and top off the tank fully. I check the wheel wells for more planted devices. Nothing blinks back at me, I exhale once, then drive. Mom texts 3 words that stab anyway. We are awake. I type back 1 instruction and a warning. Boundaryless stands tonight, I won't argue at midnight. 2 more messages stack under hers in quick rhythm. My sister spits lines about loyalty and tradition. My brother posts a laughing emoji and a shrug. I block him hard and keep the thread clean. I pull into the motel lot and kill the lights. No one parked near my spot, which suits me. I carry nothing except the essentials and my phone. Door opens on the first try, good omen or luck. Inside, I drop to the chair and open settings. New passcodes, new recovery emails, new locks for everything. I breathe with the rhythm of each successful change. It quiets the shaking in my hands for now. A hard knock snaps me upright and ready. 3 taps, pause, 3 taps again. I stay silent and look through the peephole. 2 uniforms in the hallway, welfare check time already. Open up, sir, quick chat, the taller one calls. I crack the door with the chain still set. Family reported a disturbance earlier. You injured? He asks. Not injured, I answer. Financial dispute resolved in writing, proof available. He asks for my ID without pressing past the chain. I pass it through the gap and keep my voice steady. He examines it, returns it, and softens a notch. Any threat of harm at this address, not tonight. I show the signed note on my screen briefly. He reads the names and the timestamp carefully. Call us if anyone shows uninvited, he says. They step back and wait for confirmation. I nod once. Door latches again, my heartbeat settles slow. I drop onto the bed and open the Notes app. I draft tomorrow's script in 4 plain lines. Short meeting, public place, cashless home, locked accounts, no exceptions. The phone lights before I finish the 4th point. Mom again, 3 missed calls, 1 voicemail. I press play and hold the speaker near my chest. Her voice breaks, she asks where I will stay tonight. I text her the city and nothing else. I remind her the tracker is gone and not returning. She replies with a single yes and a tiny heart. It doesn't fix anything, it keeps the bridge from burning. A new email hits from the bank after midnight. Attempted login from a tablet at the house. Blocked, notification sent, someone is still poking fences. I smile without joy and log the time for later. Knock again, 3 short raps, different rhythm entirely. I check the peephole and see no one. A folded note waits on the threshold with quiet menace. I pick it up using 2 fingers, ready for nonsense. Inside, I unfold it and read 3 lines. Bring the car back by noon or we tow. No signature, a cheap scare, maybe the guy from earlier. I take a photo and forward it to the officer's card. Another thought cuts through the static like a clear blade. I need my documents and a handful of clothes. They're still at the house in my closet. If I wait till morning, they will bait a scene. I pack my pockets and head back out. Engine turns over smooth with that practiced purr. I map a route that avoids the main streets. I drive like I owe myself a clean exit. 2 blocks out, a sedan latches onto my tail. No plates front, dark windshield, aggressive spacing. I change lanes and then change again. It mirrors each move with surgical pettiness, test time. I brake enough to force a choice behind me. It swerves wide and flashes high beams. I take a right and then a quick left. Still there, closer now, someone wants attention. I pull into a lit supermarket lot and loop once. I stop facing the entrance where the cameras sit. I hold my phone up like a flare. I start recording with my thumb on the screen. The sedan slows, thinks, and then keeps moving. It exits without commitment and fades to the avenue. I hold the shot 5 seconds more and stop. Save to the cloud, insurance for any later story. Back on the road, I keep my speed calm. I park 2 houses down from mine and kill the lights. I text the neighbor a single sentence and a thanks. I am grabbing personal papers now, watch the street. Gate latch lifts without complaint as I step through. I unlock the side door with practiced movement. I slip inside and hold my breath 3 beats. I hear voices, low, tired, still awake, of course. I go straight to my room and open the drawer. Passport, insurance card, 2 letters worth keeping. I fill a small tote and keep it light. No rummaging, no noise, no trophies from memories. Footsteps drag in the hallway with slow resignation. The floor creaks in front of my door. A quiet knock follows, like someone asking permission late. Can we talk? Mom asks through the wood-tight plea. I open the door a crack and keep my arms loose. She stands there in slippers with eyes that hurt. I made tea, she whispers with an apologetic twitch. Too late for tea, I reply, I'm only collecting essentials. Her hands twist and then let go. He won't apologize, she breathes, choosing honesty at last. He thinks authority means never admitting the wound. I nod because that sounds like every year condensed. I shoulder the tote and step into the hall. She doesn't reach out, she steps aside respectfully. Give me 1 action for tomorrow, she asks. Block shared cards, separate your accounts, call the bank at 9. We walk to the entry and stop by the door. She studies me like she is learning a new language. I will follow your steps, she whispers finally. Good, I say, text me screenshots when done. Footfalls behind us, heavy and unhurried. He appears in the doorway with squared shoulders. No rant, no theatrics, just a watchful stare. Leave the keys, he says, voice like gravel, another demand. I hold up the registration copy again without flinching. This stays with me, the note remains enforceable. His eyes slide to mother and then back. You will regret this, he repeats, softer, darker. Maybe, I answer, slate now. But you will not spend my income again. He cocks his head like the line confuses him. I turn the knob before he invents a response. Outside, the neighbor's porch light clicks on automatically. He lifts a hand in a quick salute. I return it and move to the car steadily. I do not look back at the window. Before climbing in, I try the trunk release with care. It pops open and I check the spare compartment. A second tracker sits taped under the plastic lip. I pluck it free and drop it in the mailbox slot. I fire the engine and roll away from the curb. No pursuit now, just fatigue in the road ahead. I merge onto the avenue and breathe slower. A message lands from an unknown contact mid-turn. HR here, we flagged suspicious access earlier today. Would you like a temporary payroll freeze? I answer yes and ask for on-site ID checks tomorrow. They reply done, an HR badge will meet me at 9. At a red light, I open the family thread again. Only mom is still typing in careful lines. 2 screenshots arrive showing new accounts in her name. She wrote me under beneficiary. Not joint, small victory that matters. I pull into the motel lot with a cleaner mind. I back into a corner spot out of habit. I lock the doors and set the alarm to loud. I carry the tote inside with quick, efficient steps. On the bed, I photograph the signed note again. I upload it to 2 clouds in an encrypted vault. I schedule an email to myself with attachments. If anything happens, the evidence floats to me automatically. Water from the faucet runs until it turns cold. I splash my face and watch the mirror settle. No speeches, no pep talk, just a face that chose lines. I pat dry and check the time for morning. The phone hums once more with a last text. My sister writes 9 words like flung gravel. You destroyed Father's Day for all of us. I mute the thread and let the accusation die. Sleep doesn't come, so I open the calendar. I create a block titled Boundary Meeting Tomorrow. Location set to a public cafe near the station. Duration 1 hour, after that I walk away. I set 3 alarms and place the phone face down. I slide the tote under the bed out of sight. I lay back flat and let my muscles uncoil. No gratitude, no closure, just a plan and daylight coming.